Welcome to the Explainer. So, what if everything we've been told about chasing happiness is, well, wrong? Today, we're diving into a science-backed framework for not just finding happiness, but actually building it. This is all based on some fantastic work from Happywise. Let's get right into it.
You know, we usually think of happiness as this high-energy feeling of pleasure or a big success. But Helen Keller offers this really powerful idea, wholeness. What if happiness isn't some fleeting thing you have to catch, but a complete state of being that you cultivate? That one idea is going to be at the heart of everything we talk about today.
All right, so this first part is all about reframing our whole approach. We've got to stop seeing happiness as this finish line, this destination you arrive at. Instead, let's start thinking of it as the quality of the journey we're on, every single day.
And that leads us to a much richer definition, doesn't it? Real well-being isn't just found in one moment of victory. Nope, it covers all the different parts of our lives. And this is key, it's something we have to build on purpose. Think of it like you're building a house. It's not going to happen by accident, right? It takes a plan, consistent effort, one conscious choice, one brick at a time.
Okay, but how in the world do you navigate a journey toward wholeness? I mean, that's a huge concept. You need a map. And that's exactly where the SPIRE model comes in. It's an amazing framework for understanding all the key pieces of a fulfilling life. This approach was developed by the psychologist Tal Ben-Shahar, and what it does so brilliantly is it takes that big, kind of abstract idea of wholeness and breaks it down into 5 concrete, manageable areas of your life that you can actually work on.
And here they are, the 5 dimensions that make up the acronym SPIRE. You've got S for spiritual, which is all about having a sense of purpose. P for physical, your mind-body connection. I for intellectual, staying curious and engaged. R for relational, which is about your social connections. And finally, E for emotional, your ability to feel, well, the full range of human emotions.
Now, what's so important to see here is how deeply connected all these are. They're not separate buckets. Just look at this. If you neglect your physical health, the P, inspire, it doesn't just make you tired. It can actually fog up your thinking and even make you pull away from people. A crack in one part of the foundation really can weaken the whole structure.
So if SPIRE is our map to wholeness, then what are the actual tools we can use on the journey? How do we actively make these 5 areas of our lives stronger?
Well, the answer comes down to 7 key levers. And you can think of these as real, practical tools you can use every single day to actively shape your well-being and bring more balance to your life. So let's check them out. These levers are those specific, conscious choices that guide your decisions, your energy, and your relationships day in and day out. Let's start with the very first one.
Okay, this first lever is a bit counterintuitive. Think about it. When a wave of anxiety hits, what's your first instinct? For most of us, it's to ignore it, right? Push it down. But that usually just makes it stronger. The real key is to just acknowledge it, to name it. Simply saying to yourself, okay, I'm feeling anxious right now, can actually help that feeling lose its power and start to fade.
This next lever is all about finding that sweet spot between what feels good right now and what's building a better future. I mean, binge watching a show might feel great in the moment, but it's not building much. On the flip side, studying for an exam builds your future, but it can feel like a total drag. The goal is to consciously pick more activities that do both, things that are enjoyable and meaningful.
This next one, this is powerful. It's not actually what happens to us, but how we interpret what happens. That shapes our reality. Just look at the difference. Shifting that inner voice from a closed thought like, I'm so unlucky, to an open one like, what can I control here? That moves you from a place of being helpless to a place of power. And I mean, Shakespeare totally nailed this hundreds of years ago. When we change our perspective, we're not just changing how we feel, we are literally expanding our options. The moment you stop seeing a situation as just bad, you suddenly see new ways to move forward.
Lever number 4 is about becoming a fierce protector of your resources. You know that feeling of having enough time? It's one of the strongest predictors of well-being. So just remember, every single time you say yes to something, you are silently saying no to something else. Simplifying isn't about being selfish, it's about being strategic. The mind-body connection is just so incredibly direct. Our mental and emotional states completely rely on our physical health. That's the P in our SPIR model. And just look at this. 30 minutes of aerobic exercise can have the same effect on your mood as a mild antidepressant. That's not magic, that's just physiology. Where you put your attention is what grows in your life. This is based on a real thing called neuroplasticity, the idea that our brains can physically change.
So if you consistently practice something like gratitude, you're literally strengthening the neural pathways that help you notice the good things that are already around you. It's basically a workout for your brain.
And here it is, the final super powerful lever, our relationships. This is the R in our SPIRE model. And it's not just about having people around. It's all about the quality of our attention. Are we truly present when we're with the people we care about? Are we really listening? That's what transforms connection and truly fuels our well-being.
Of course, this whole journey of life, it's not always smooth sailing. So what do you do when you hit those rough patches that are pretty much inevitable?
You know, expecting to be happy all the time is a trap, and it's one that can actually make you unhappy. So instead, what we need is a toolkit for navigating those difficult moments. And here are 3 really practical tools: expressive writing to get your emotions out, authentic sharing to feel connected, and practicing gratitude to find a little bit of light even when things feel dark.
Okay, let's bring all these ideas home. Let's see how they all come together to form a clear path forward for your own intentional journey.
So we've seen that happiness isn't some prize you win at the end of the game. It's about this pursuit of wholeness. And to do that, you need both a map, that's the SPIR model, and a toolkit, those 7 levers, to help you find your way.
And please remember, this is not about some massive, overnight life overhaul. It's actually the opposite. It is about the small, intentional choices that you make day after day that add up over time to build a more whole and fulfilling life.
So to wrap this up, let's make it real. You don't have to tackle all 7 levers at once. That's not the point. Just pick one. Looking back at all the tools we talked about, what is the one small practice you'll choose to begin with today to start your own intentional journey toward a more whole and fulfilling life?